Okay, well, you need to re-listen to S0760. Again, if you've heard it before, but it's what the colours stand for. And you might be not of a religious disposition at all. Does that mean my devotion practice is not for you? Ah, you couldn't be more wrong. Except you may balk at saying Heavenly Father, Heavenly Dad. Okay? Are you happy to declare the colours of nature? Can you imagine how drab nature would be if it was just black and white and grey? So, let me bring colour into your life. Each chakra has its own colour. Each centre of the spine has its own colour. If we think of the sort of six principal points that I've considered in the devotion breathing practice, the first, the lower, it's at coccyx, the lowest part of the spine, pure red, light, clear, beautiful red. And you come up, think of the colour orange, creativity, life, a lovely orange, all right? I mean, think of it in pure prism colours, you know, when you, a drop of moisture, dew perhaps in the morning, the frost that's melting, and the colours suddenly are prismed out, aren't they? They're the colours I'm talking about, absolute purity and brightness, and each colour is its own utter loveliness. So you've done orange now for creativity, and you come up to the shalom. The shalom is yellow, the yellow of the sun. The sun does have all the colours of rainbow in it, but it dominates to be that sun colour. Now think of that yellow colour perfectly. You know, I mean, it might be, I don't know, bananas or peach flesh, but a beautiful now, sparkling, I was going to say, but fluorescent yellow in some sense, yeah? It doesn't pay to stare at the sun, of course, it's bad, too much for the eyes, but you know that central disk of the sun, the astonishing sun colour. And then come up to the heart is green. Green is life, the green of the forest, the fields, the lushness of all the herbs of the field. Green. I'm come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. You come up to the throat. It's the glory of God. We're singing praises. We're in worship. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm assuming you're not really hooked on a religious type analogy. So let me just say, you sing for joy. You thank people. You praise people. You speak good things to your children. You read them good stories. You give them good advice. There's a purity in the blue like the sky, a beautiful blue sky. Not dark, dark blue, beautiful blue that you would get from the prism breaking up the light into its separate colours. And you can move on there to, is it sort of an indigo purple? But you can go on to a sort of violet lightness, or somehow visualize the two in an absolute wealth of communication of colour to you. A lovely, lovely colour between indigo and violet. You see it in the rainbow, don't you? I mean, we're just going through the colours of the rainbow, and we're going through them in order, and we've got there. Oh, what about transcendence? Ah, you know what transcendence is going to be, don't you? All the colours together. The fullness of God. All the colours. What we see as brilliant white, or I don't know, silver really, I don't know, silver white, brilliant. Bless you. So you're going to use the colours instead. As you breathe in, you go up through the colours in your mind. As you go up through the body, as you fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. Oh, something I should have said. Before you do your breathing devotion, take 3 breaths. And by 3 breaths, I mean 3 particularly deep breaths. Oh, that was lovely. That was a call and a request, 2 requests from my daughter. She's 11 years old. And you might wonder how I, of 110, can have a daughter of 11 years old. But that's because I'm not quite 110. In fact, I'm 77 next month, this coming June. Anyway, that's beside the point. I was going to say to you, before you start the breathing practice, the devotion, as I've called it, especially if you're religious, but you know, the practice, take 3 deep breaths. So you empty the lungs completely. You're going to fill from the bottom to the top in 2 moves. 1, 2, full. Hold. 2, 3, out. 2. 1, 2, out. So you breathe in 2 stages. Hold. Count to 3. Breathe out in 2 stages. Top empties and the bottom empties. And then you go on straight into the next breath. So you do 3 very short timed breaths. So in 2, hold 2, 3, out 2, in 2, 3, and you completely fill the lungs and completely empty them each time. In other words, you kick-start. You tell the whole body. You've dynamized the whole, all the cells in the body, and you can now launch into your breathing practice, or as I've called it, your devotion. Only if you're of a non-religious bent, well, you're going to go through the colours, or even just count. Goodness, just count. You can count up to 12 reasonably fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In. Now, I mean, be reasonable. 12's an enormous number, even if you're saying it fast. Well, just count what you find easy. Just have 4 centres, lower torso, middle torso, upper torso, head. Transcendence, okay, you can think of the crown for the count of 4, and then come back down. Head, upper torso, middle torso, lower torso. You might think of it in terms of, I don't know. Yeah, well, you're creative. You'll do it your way. But you know what we're getting at, don't you? Steady breathing, in the end, slower breathing, full breathing, consciousness of the power coming into the body and leaving the body. The gift of God, life. Life. Try not breathing for an hour. You don't last. You won't return. In all probability. I mean, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, we know the importance of breath, don't we? And that's all we're doing here. I better re-listen to this, sort this one out. Thank you, Dad. Oh yes, I know what I should say. I did recommend that you listen to S0760. And if you didn't because you just couldn't be bothered, do it now. It might be better than this one, but in some ways this one I hoped would be helpful because I linked the colours to the breathing. And of course, much more recently in my recordings, I've gone through how to do the breathing as a practice and as a devotion. And so all you need to put in is Marshall, Richard, Hope, and then the word devotion. But I've spelt devotion phonetically, haven't I? So it's DIVOWSHNN. If you're new to my phonetic spelling, sorry about that. I'll just say it again. Devotion. In other words, DIVOWSHNN. Devotion. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.